What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Eric, and the name of my channel is Echo Shack. And I like to talk about some of the things that inspire me and some of the tools that I like to use in the recording studio. And today, what I want to talk about is my Multivox MXD5 is what this unit is called. And Multivox was a company in the 70s and 80s, from what I understand, that was kind of like the Behringer of that time, where they would make these products that very closely resembled some of the more big popular brands, like Roland, for example. In this case, this unit, the MXD5, it's kind of like sort of like a Space Echo kind of vibe. This is a solid state thing. There's no tape involved with this unit, but it certainly is inspired by the Space Echo. I bought this thing for maybe $200, $250. If you look up a Space Echo, the real one, the Roland with tape, those are pretty expensive, getting close to like $2,000 for one that's in good condition. And so the point of this video is to show that you don't need to spend a lot of money to have fun with hardware. I think using hardware is a lot of fun because it's tactile, right? I can have my hands on it. I can adjust 2, 3, 4 things at a time. Actually, probably just 2 because I have 2 hands. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Like, you can do those things with plug-in automation and like a fancy controller, but it's just not the same as touching something and having your hands on it. And, I like these quirky old units because they offer something different. Nothing sounds like it. They're a little harder to come by. It's fun. Maybe you get lucky, you find one at an estate sale or a thrift store or, somewhere in the corner of a music store, like these long forgotten pieces of gear that they do something cool, or they don't, but you still learn something from it. So today I want to show you this thing in action on some drums and kind of how I use it and the setup that I have for that. Okay, so let's check it out. All right, I've got some drums here that I recorded at my studio with a whole bunch of mics, as you can see here. We've got kicks, snares, pretty basic setup, but a good amount of mics. And there's some processing that I've already done, just standard drum mix stuff, nothing crazy. So what I want to do is I want to run the entire kit into the Multivox and see what the vibe is, see what the result is. So in order to set that up, what I needed to do first was create a drum bus. Okay, so I sent all my drums to an aux input track in Pro Tools, right? Fixed the routing so that the output of all the drums match the bus input here of the drums. Okay, I've got some bus processing there. And then what I need to do next is send the signal to a hardware output. So I send it out of line 3. I have a cable plugged in to the back of my interface, which is going to the input of the Multivox, then the output of the Multivox running into the front of my interface. I'm in my home studio. I just have a Focusrite. So I'll try to show that setup in a second of what's going on there. And so the next thing I need to do is create a track to return the signal from the Multivox. Okay, so I'm going to hit a new track. It's a mono signal, and I want to be able to record this track, so I'm going to make an audio track, and I'm just going to call it MXD5. Boom. Okay, I have it plugged into the second input, so that's good to go. And so that we can hear it, I have to send that. That's my screenshot audio. Okay, cool. So we're pretty much ready to hear some stuff here. But let's take a look at that setup. All right. So here is the Multivox. Okay, we can see it. We've got the input plugged in. That's coming from my interface. You can see the controls. This is cool. You can plug a mic or a guitar, bass, whatever, right into it. Tone. Okay, it's basically like a bass roll-off or treble. I'm not sure. I've never really analyzed it, but it's like an EQ kind of thing that will EQ the sound of this box. There's a spring reverb inside. Okay, then we have echo, repeat, and delay. So the delay, that's the time. That's how fast or how slow the delays are. The repeat, that's our feedback. And then the echo basically is a volume knob for the delay signal. Same with the reverb. That's basically a volume knob for the spring reverb. Okay? Cool. So that's the deal there. I've got this thing running just into my Focusrite. Nothing fancy. It's an old Focusrite. Easy peasy. So let's take a listen to these drums as they sound just on their own. Okay, pretty cool, right? Pretty dry. Nice sounding room. Nothing too crazy going on here. I think I was making another video, and I was playing along to some bass and stuff, but I just want to show the drums for this. Okay, cool. So let's check it out. I'm going to activate the output signal from the drums, and we're going to see signal pop up on the Multivox. Okay, cool. I've got the return track. I'm going to set that input here. And we're going to start to hear what this sounds like. So pretty cool. You can hear it's a little noisy. I think that's the reverb. Yeah, something's up with it, but whatever. It's cool. And yeah, so I'm gonna mute these drums. I have a pre-fader send here going on, so to the Multivox. So I'm gonna mute these drums. And let's see if now we're going to get just the Multivox. Yeah, so it's darker here. This unit was actually modified to, when you push the power button, it multiplies the delay signal. Somebody had modded it, which is a pretty cool mod. clipping my input a little bit. So let's go back to the blend. So some pretty cool possibilities you can see with the Multivox. Yeah, for being a cheap thing, definitely pretty cool. Another way to use the Multivox is to use it as a distortion box. So if I send a signal to it and sort of just crush the input, back off the reverb and the delay, I can use it as just a really cool distortion. I've used this as like a fuzz box on guitars that have made its way onto records that are out. So let's check that out. So for this, I'm going to switch from the instrument input to the mic input, and then I'm also going to use the mixed out instead of just the delay out. Okay, let's check that out. Cool. Well, thanks for watching this video, and yeah, the Multivox. Check them out. There's some that you can find on Reverb, or look for something similar. I mean, a lot of companies made pretty cool, cheap effects units, like Ibanez or Yamaha or Alesis made some cool ones, and just experiment. You know, you don't have to spend $2,000 on a Space Echo to get some cool results. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my page. I'm just starting out with these YouTube videos. These are things I've been doing for a long time, and yeah, I'm just trying to get this sort of stuff out more, and these are things I do all the time, so I figure why not share it with some kind of audience. I think there's other people like myself that are interested in this stuff, and yeah, please hit me with a message or a comment if you want to see something similar, or if you have some feedback. By all means, hit me up.